You are welcome to HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. For the past 3 years, R. Kelly has been prejudiced by the authorities who have been handling his case. Starting with the government prosecutors who were found to were illegally involved in investigative activities and attempt to collect evidence that would incriminate the R&B King, when one of them contacted Jim DeRogatis through a disposable email, and more such scandalous actions. This was only recently made known to the public, when McDavid's attorney made an investigation into the cell phone communications between the government prosecutors and their principal witness Jane. Case observers have also noted that the way the two judges, first in New York and later in Chicago, have handled the trials, rejecting literally every defense motion, while unfairly granting what was regarded unnecessary immunities to the prosecution witnesses. A move that they have determined unfair practice by law. It has also been well noted how much the court has chosen to entertain the telling of lies under oath, something that commonly leads to wrongful convictions. The Chicago judge's attempt to overthrow justice when he suddenly changed the indictment also did not go unnoticed. The observers say overthrowing justice according to law is equivalent to an attempt to overthrow the national constitution. The observers also noted that almost all defense motions which were filed by attorney Jennifer Bonjean were substantial and deserved consideration, specifically pointing out the one that highlighted the statute of limitations and double jeopardy, legal considerations that should have been invoked during the court process. One of them stated that while R. Kelly may have been accused of the various crimes, and while he may have committed some offenses, his rights as a citizen were duly violated throughout the court process. They say this is not acceptable practice in our country, and the government should not ignore this. The observers also noted discrepancies in the way this case and those that came before it that are similar in nature have been handled, citing the New York trial which imposed a RICO charge onto the defendant with no clear evidence of an enterprise. Something that when compared to other cases in this category has not been done before. They say there is no way to sustain a RICO charge with only a single defendant on trial. Another injustice that was noted was the repeated denial of the defendant bail, leading to a 3-year imprisonment without trial, something that hindered defendant's right to freely access his legal advisors and prepare for the 2 successive trials. The 30-year sentence which R. Kelly was subjected to in Brooklyn was also a point of great concern. According to the team, the weight of this sentence is quite fraudulent and inappropriate, even if the RICO charges remained valid. There was no reason to issue the maximum sentence for a first-time offender. R. Kelly may have had to endure jail time before this, but this was on matters that were not criminal at all. He therefore should have been given the most minimum of sentences for each guilty count, and all scheduled to be served concurrently and not consecutively. There was also no reason to split the case into 2, considering most of the alleged crimes are said to have been committed in Chicago. R. Kelly should have been tried once and given a chance to respond to all allegations in a single court trial, where both his co-accused should have been present too. Moving him from one state to another to deal with almost similar charges against the very same accusers was a psychological attack on the defendant, and a move later found unnecessary by the independent observers. Also marked as important to the court was Bonjean's motion, which determined that R. Kelly needed a retrial in New York, considering he did not get meaningful legal counsel throughout the trial process. It's different when these mistakes happen and they are ignored by the defense. But when the defense lawyer remembers to point them out during the timeframe given for post-trial motions to be submitted, the court ought to look into the matter and take action where necessary. This, however, according to the observers, the Brooklyn Federal Court did not do. The element of witness credibility was also completely ignored when individuals that were renowned for testifying lies under oath were brought to the stand to pass judgment on the defendant. According to the observers, the United States of America prides in individual character as a prerequisite for believability. This character can only be confirmed through reviewing a person's past records. It is therefore important that government witnesses possess certain minimums when it comes to character, before their word against the defendant can be assumed meaningful and usable as valid testimony in court. The independent observers therefore note that there is every reason to conclude the legal processes taken were prejudicially against R. Kelly, and were not seeking to offer him a fair trial after all. It is therefore critical that they work towards correcting this in order not to humiliate the United States court system in the face of criticism by the global legal systems. According to some fans of R. Kelly, the analysis report is accurate, and yes, it looks like the legal system in our country has been sucked dry by the politics of race and greed. There is no way a system can prejudice a citizen to that extent, and we assume things are okay. It is global judicial standard to remember that even a suspect has got rights as a citizen. R. Kelly was duly denied all his basic rights as a suspect. He went from being a free man, straight to being treated like a convicted criminal. This is not acceptable. We are in an era where it's being considered that suspects of attempted murder are not detained, but still R. Kelly was denied bail, a window which was meant to allow him sufficient time to interact with his legal team and prepare his defense. He did not get the chance to do this. For this reason, he deserved a retrial, which his new attorney requested in a post-trial motion she filed. Still, this was rejected. Just how much should R. Kelly have endured in his quest for justice? Why does the government expect too much from him yet offering nothing itself? According to Kimberly D. Martin, the judge did not rob R. Kelly of his victory. He needs to know that it is God he robbed when he did what he did. It is definitely not in God's interest that a man be prejudiced to this extent, and his freedom taken away in vain. If someone committed one crime, it does not give the government an opportunity to exploit this incident and use it to bury the person alive. This is what they are trying to do to R. Kelly. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.